am going to attempt to go through my reasoning for and explanation of my UI setup for PvP. Although I'm not going to do everything, I'm going to do the important stuff. This is basic UI setup right now. I just made a guy, named him Volunteerism. First thing I do right away when I start playing is I set up my auto run, because that's something that I use so much. And that's it. Hit escape always to get your option menu up. Auto run is going to be under your preferences and your key bindings and your movement. So you'll go to that, toggle auto run. And I always set it up to be the squiggly. This is the top left. It's right by my number 1 button. So if I'm my philosophy is I spam and I build everything around my keybinds as my index finger. So that's number 4. Number 4 is like my home row key. So if I'm spamming number 4, I can use my pinky to hit this toggle for auto run. So I can hit that while I'm spamming an ability with my index finger. That's my reasoning behind that. That's why I set that up like that. Always remember to click apply after everything you change. So now I have my auto run set up. I can just hit that hotkey and then I can control my character with my right button on my mouse. So right clicking and holding it, I can turn really sharp now. Okay, and one thing I do a lot is I hold down my right mouse button. You can see every time I hit my right mouse button, my mouse disappears, because then it turns into, it's actually, you know, you can control where you look, up and down, like that, left and right, but you're actually going to turn. Now if you hold down the right button and you click the left button, it makes you walk. So you hold down both right and left, you can walk around and then you can look around. You can use it like that. Okay. Now if you just click on the left mouse button, you can look around without turning your character. Okay. Default settings, I believe if I walk right now, auto run, now there must be some settings I think that are carried over to every character or something like that. But in preferences, in your camera, in the game tab down here, there should be oh wait, let's see here, controls maybe, camera, smart camera I think is default, and what I should probably do is hit default. Yes. Okay, so these are the defaults. And that probably changed my auto run quick. So I'm gonna change my auto run back. Toggle auto run. No, it didn't. No. I'm gonna default this too. That way everything's default. For whatever reason, things were changed. It must. I hope that doesn't reset everything, but if it did, I'm going through everything, so it doesn't matter. Change this back to that. Click apply. And this other stuff is used or really needed. Everything else is default. Okay, so go back to game. And we'll go to, where was I? What was it? I'm having a brain fart here. Is it user interface? Controls probably. Yeah, alright. Smart camera. Auto adjust camera while facing. Auto adjust camera facing when your character moves or rotates. So that's pretty much I go like this. This is I'm left clicking, looking around, hit auto run, it automatically goes behind me. Or if I'm running and I let go of my left click, automatically goes behind me. So I'm running around. Oh, anytime I unleft click, it as somebody used on the forums, it rubber bands you back. So what I do to avoid that is I undo smart camera, because I don't even think that's smart. I think it's dumb, because I like to be able to run and look around and also be able to click on stuff. Detach camera from the character when it hits the terrain. I also unclick that. Camera max distance, gotta be 100% max distance, so you can zoom way out. Camera rotation speed, I can't remember. It feels like it might be a little slow. Turn it up a little bit. Yeah, it might be a little high now for me, but this is a preference thing. I don't know where I had mine before, but that feels about right. Maybe a little fast still. I might have had it default, but that's something that you'll have to decide on your own what you want. Auto loot, this has nothing to do with PvP, but I like auto loot. Enable your focus target is important for PvP. Let's see. Auto target close down. Let's see. So that's pretty much in the controls area. Everything I would personally do. Don't forget to hit apply. Fly text, I don't think I've messed with that at all. Combat logging, that's good for if you're using a parser. If you want to use a parser to kind of see, like, to figure out a good rotation, that's good for that, but I'm not using it right now. So I always turn my music volume down. That has nothing really to do with stuff. Chat stuff. In your general chat, there is chat settings. If you right click on that and go to chat settings, there is something in here. Conversation and character login. Some of these I unclick because if there's too much going on in the PvP, you'll miss incoming calls, you'll miss important communication, so you have to figure that out on your own. Figure out what things in the ops, in the war zones and stuff like that spams. I think it's system feedback, actually. So I'm going to unclick that. I think that's the one where it shows you, like, when you pick up stuff or when something happens, that it'll kind of spam out important PvP messages a lot of times. So that one I unclick, and of course we click apply. User interface. Let's go everything to. Okay, I auto skip movies, obviously. Phase indicator. This is more PvE stuff. PvE stuff. Let's see. Map phase while moving is nice because then you can see. Multiple filters, and it's just preferences on how much you want to fade and stuff like that. I think I click on this. This isn't really PvP related. Change. Let's see. I think this one right here, use operation frames as group frames, is good for PvP. Personally, I think I like using that. Actually, it's good for just having ops frames for when you're in a group. So it's something I like to use. Not PvP related though. Trying to keep this PvP related. I like to have my cooldown text, which is pretty much, down here. It's not showing that. Hit apply. There we go. If I remember correctly, I make mine smaller, or probably the smallest it goes. Yeah, I like that. That's kind of nice to just kind of see how long your abilities are before you can use them again in general. That way it's, you don't have to think, oh, and mouse over, how long is this again? It's kind of nice for that. Suppress crew mission rewards in war zones. That's a good one, because I've had my crew members be like, oh, here you go. I'm like in the middle of a fight and I'm like, ah, fuck, I can't see. That's a good one. If you send your companions out during a war zone anyway. Let's see. Graphics. I always have mine on the highest settings because my computer can handle it. Of course, if your computer can't handle it, I highly recommend turning a lot of this stuff down. But if there's a view visible character limit, I think that's how far you can see. And if that is the case, make sure this is very high. Controls how many characters are rendered in the vicinity of the player. Oh, well, that might mean more. I would turn it up because then you'll be able to see those people. Maybe that's just graphically. They'll have better graphics if they're closer to you. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Social. I like to see it when people are swearing, but I don't think this is a spot where it is. This one I like to have checked for leveling and stuff, but if you get into a group with somebody the same, you want to be able to get into the same instance. That's not PvP related. Nameplates. This one right now is not at default. Default looks like this. I click everything in this area because I like to have all the nameplate information possible. Apply. This is not default here either. A lot of this probably isn't default, actually, I'm realizing now. But that kind of stuff is, at least you can look at what I have. You know, this is, pause and look at it if you want. Okay, so that's pretty much everything in the game menu spot. We got a bug here. For whatever reason, that's got an overlapping thing. Key bindings. I'm going to shut this window and reopen it, so it's not bugging anymore. Preferences. Now keybinds, targeting. If you ever see those people targeting, marking targets. This is real important right here. Marking targets. And also tab next enemy. That's good for PvP. Sometimes I click, sometimes I tab. Target self, I like to have F1. You should have a button that you can target yourself, especially if you're a healer. I also like target self. I'm not sure if it works in this game, but some games if you target yourself and you're not getting attacked, you'll get out of combat quicker and then you can heal up faster with this, your heal up whatever thing. Let's see. If you want to set up focus targeting, this is how you set up focus targeting. You need to set up your hotkey here, which I set as F4. Acquire focus targets target. And then, let's see, here's a self-target modifier. Some people like to use that. I personally don't like it, but it's a good thing to use. Basically, when you're holding down whatever key this is, you don't have to actually target yourself, but you'll start casting heals on yourself, so that way you don't have to retarget the guy you're healing. But I'm just so used to a different way that and it's faster for me to do it the other